The Dorchester Boys and Girls Club is getting an assist from legends of the Boston Bruins in a benefit game this Saturday. To tell us about the event and the program supported are the club's president and CEO, Bob Scannell, and one of the Bruins alums, Bob Sweeney. Thank you both very much for being with us.
No, thank you.
I want to talk with Bob. This is the first time you've tried this here. Why have an event like this?
You know, we do a lot of events to help raise funds to support the programs at the club, but this is a little different. We've never teamed up with the Bruins alumni, but I will say this, the Boston Bruins and the Foundation have been tremendous to us over the years. Wonderful supporters financially, and in terms of doing clinics at the club with the players and coaches and tickets to the game. So it's really nice we can get together and compete with them on the ice and have some fun.
Bob, you're not just an alum, you're one of the leaders of this whole project. So what got you started on this?
Well, it's when I retired from playing hockey in 2001, Johnny Busick was just stepping down from the day-to-day operations of the Bruins alumni, and I think by default, being the youngest guy at the time, I took over as president, and it was great to see and be able to play with guys that I grew up watching in the late 60s and early 70s, and you know, from having Milt Schmidt as the coach, and playing with Johnny Busick and Pie McKenzie and Kenny Hodge and all these great Hall of Fame guys. It was great, and now to see it come full circle, and Rick Middleton is now our alumni president. It's good to see that we have some younger guys, because we're getting a little old and it's hard to keep up. I'm sure Bob has some young guys stacking the team.
Oh, we got a few.
And that's good. And I think that's what we want as the alumni. We need to evolve and involve more younger guys. So I think it's going to be a great event for the Dorchester Boys and Girls Club.
Bob Scannell, you got a lot of people in Dorchester, I'm sure, who'd love to see some of these faces, not to mention Terry O'Reilly, who's supposed to be in this too.
Yeah.
What's it like for drawing people, you think?
Well, this is exciting. Sadly, we had to turn a lot of people away, so we're hoping we can do this again next year. But we had a lot of interest. You know, a lot of the players we have are young and old. I'm one of the old ones. Former members at the club, staff at the club, volunteers. Of course, some of the players are OFD. They're originally from Dorchester, and they wanted to get involved. So it's wonderful that they wanted to engage and have fun with the Bruins on the ice while supporting the Boys and Girls Clubs of Dorchester.
Yeah. Bob Sweeney, what about what you've learned about some of the programs you've helped? Because you know, maybe you're too busy just playing hockey when you were growing up, but you've probably seen a lot of other places like this around the state where you've been playing games.
Well, I think that's one of the unique things about playing for the Bruins is I think when you enter that locker room from generation to generation, it's passed down that you should be goodwill ambassadors in the community, and I think that's what makes the Bruins alumni so special is we realize that, and people like Bob and the Dorchester's Boys and Girls Club, they can utilize us to raise funds for their program. And I think that's the message that we want to, whether it's a Boys and Girls Club, something tragic that has happened to someone in a community, or whatever charity it is, when you play the Bruins alumni, we want you to maximize the amount raised. And it sounds like Bob's done a great job turning people away, so that's good to hear, and hopefully they'll raise a lot of money this weekend.
We're talking with Bob Sweeney, Boston Bruins alum, and Bob Scannell from the Dorchester Boys and Girls Club. Bob Scannell, what about the programs you're supporting? There is a hockey element, but you've got so much else going on there too.
We do. You know, we've been in the Dorchester community now for over 40 years, 43 actually. And we've really grown. We have 4,000 members right now at our 3 clubhouses, which are all in Dorchester. So we're busy as heck, and it's affordable to every child. We don't turn anyone away. It costs $5 to join for a year, so no one's turned away. And the programs are extensive. It's the athletic programs, whether it's with the swimming or the hockey or the basketball, judo, floor hockey, it goes on and on. We have a really extensive education program. Anywhere from tutoring the kids, getting mentors for them, homework help sessions, college prep, college tours, and so forth. And we have an amazing arts center with arts, film, and a music clubhouse. List goes on. We have early childhood, so you can be 6 weeks old and come to the Boys and Girls Club in our licensed program up until age 19. So there's programs for every child. Again, over 200 programs at our clubs.
Well, Sweeney, explain how this is going to work in the game. I mean, the alums are going to be taking the ice, so who's going to be in the
We're
ice
going to win. So that just so they know.
Well, I can say I have a chance.
Hey, listen, the CEO has its privileges. I've named myself the captain, okay, which means I can't be taken off the ice, no matter how
that's
poorly
good.
I play. But I put some pretty good players around me, so we're ready for them.
So who are these other players we're talking about? Who are playing against
My
you?
team, well, I don't want Bob to know that ahead of time. He'll
Scout, we can change the lineup. We'll get
see,
the
that's
younger
what he
guys.
will do. He will do that, you know. These are some players, definitely some of them all came through Dorchester, and many went on to play college hockey, D1, D2. But, you know, it's a mix. There's a few young players, and most of them are older like me, and again, they just want to go out and have fun and give them a run for their money.
I think he just mentioned the key word. I think, you know, when we go on the ice, I mean, it's still fun for us. That's one thing that former hockey players and all athletes, I think they miss the locker room, that camaraderie. And whether it's, you know, guys like Terry O'Reilly, who's still, you know, Terry's probably in his mid-60s now, and he still loves to get out there and have fun. And that's what it's all about. And at the end of the day, it's also helping out a great charity like the Dorchester Boys.
You know, one of the things I notice at my age is that I somehow relate more strongly to people who played with the team decades ago than I do now. As much as I enjoy what I might see now.
Yeah.
How do you feel? You have people come to events like this that they knew you from back when, and I mean, how does that compare with playing in a game? Yeah. Well, no. Yeah,
but it does. You bring up a great point. I mean, in all sport nowadays, you know, because of the salary caps and free agency, you don't get guys that stay around for a whole career with one team. I think here in Boston, we're fortunate. A lot of the guys that played in the 60s and 70s and 80s and in the 90s now have stayed around. I talked about some of the young guys, you know, the Mike Models of the world, Andrew Elbert, Hal Gill. They all live here year-round now. So it's good. Andrew Raycroft. It's good to have these young alumni that are staying around because, as I said, it's hard to keep going when we're playing against younger guys.
Now, you grew up in the Boston era. Did you have those moments as a kid? You know, you saw the players in person and you got excited for some reason?
Well, I was obviously grew up when the Bruins were winning Stanley Cups, and I was part of a team that won a national championship in 1972. And I'll never forget having Bobby Orr and Kenny Hodge.
I was watching it in New York, actually.
Yeah, and it was amazing. It was great. I mean, I think the best part about our generation, I'm sure you'll agree, Bob, is, you know, we didn't have all the electronics. We all played street hockey. Right. And, you know, if I was the goalie, I was Cheesy. If I was playing out, I was Espo or I was Bobby Orr. It was just a great time to grow up as a kid. And those guys made it so much easier for us, and especially for kids in the city, with all the rinks, the MDC rinks that came up because of the success the Bruins had in the late 60s and early 70s.
Bob Scannell, talk about your kids. They're playing floor hockey, but I guess floor hockey, they're not going to become NHL caliber necessarily, but they're going to be good at something else too.
Absolutely. I mean, the floor hockey is one of many programs, and a lot of our kids, you know, we've got the rink we're playing at Saturday, Divine Rink, right down the street from our clubs. So it's nice that we can get the kids to the rink, and there's great programs there. The Dorchester Youth Hockey is amazing, and they're donating the ice to us. But they bring a lot of kids through their Learn to Skate programs, and they have a lot of great success. You talk about national championship. Dorchester does very well.
Finally, Bob Scannell, I know you mentioned Scannell, the game is packed, but people want to find out more about the club, get their kids involved. Is there a way they can do that?
There sure is. The best way is to go to our website, which is bgcdorchester.org, and it has all the information. If anyone's interested in participating in this event, that's on the website as well. But it's very user-friendly for parents and children to find out where they might fit in at the clubs. But again, there's something for everyone there.
Thank you both very much. Bob Scannell from the Dorchester Boys and Girls Club, and Bob Sweeney, Boston Bruins alum.